closed off the scene and established a tight perimeter, not only around the house, but the entire community. It was immediately determined that Sheila Hamner was deceased from multiple stab wounds, and Kenny Hamner, her son, was being loaded into an ambulance for his injuries. He provided deputies with a false description of a suspect who, quite frankly, never existed. We now believe those injuries were self-inflicted to further deter our investigation of this murder. Once Kenny Hamner was released from the hospital, he was questioned again by our detectives and provided further contradictory statements about the events that occurred that afternoon. Based on these contradictory statements and the tireless work of our crime scene technicians, our detectives, and the Treasure Coast Regional Crime Lab staff over the past 3 weeks, forensic and trace evidence was collected and developed probable cause that Kenny Hamner, the son, in fact did kill his mother. At 8:30 this morning, deputies and detectives arrested Kenny Hamner and charged him with first-degree murder. This is his picture. He was booked into the St. Lucie County Jail with no bond. I personally want to thank the Traub Avenue neighborhood for their kindness they showed our staff during the days following the incident, and the many members of that community who called us and provided tips, details, and information that all further directed our investigation efforts toward Kenny Hamner. I also want to thank the professionals here in our Detective Bureau, our Crime Scene Unit, and the Crime Lab, who over the past 3 weeks have worked tirelessly on this careful collection of evidence, identification, and analysis of this evidence, which pretty sure proves that Kenny Hamner killed his mother on that Saturday afternoon. Because the investigation is ongoing, I can't answer many questions, but I'll take a few generic questions. But we're happy to bring closure to this family with his arrest, and now our hard work is going on developing the case for the state attorney to prosecute it.
What was the motive? Do you believe the motive was in this incident?
We haven't established that yet, or at least not one that I want to share with you yet. We have some theories, but no motives.
You spent a long time on the crime scene, probably a week. Or
A little more than a week, correct.
Were you able, you talk about trace evidence, is there any of that you can reveal to us?
I cannot, but those of you who came to the scene, and I know you were one, Jana, that was there quite a bit, we went from a scene at that garage to the yard to the surrounding properties, and we kept expanding it. And this was all based on descriptions and discussions with the neighbors. And we just wanted to cross out and rule out anything that we might have missed further from that scene.
What was the, I guess, can you elaborate a little bit more on the PC that you think links this guy to the murder?
It would be all DNA and trace evidence.
Was Mr. Hamner on any alcohol or drugs during the event?
Rather not say that at this time.
Was anybody else in the house at the time of the killing?
No one else was in the house or on the property.
Do we know if there were any prior agitations or arguments that led up to what could be this murder?
No, we don't know that either, no.
Who was the last person, well, where does Kenny Hamner live, I guess?
He lives there on the property with his mother.
In the same house?
Same house.
What was his reaction this morning when you guys got there at 8:30?
Actually, he had no reaction whatsoever. He wasn't arrested at the house. He was arrested away from the house during a traffic stop. One of the arresting officers said it seemed like he was relieved that he was arrested. So
Did he attend her funeral?
he did. And that occurred was it the Saturday or Sunday after 1 week? Saturday, 1 week later, he attended the funeral.
What were his injuries like?
His injuries were a cut to his right forearm.
What was the, Did you guys recover the suspected murder weapon?
We don't want to share that information right now.
Can you share any more details about the suspected timeline?
Well, the timeline we know is she arrived home at 2:10 that afternoon, and the first call was received at 3:41 that afternoon.
Do you know if any other weapons were used in this murder?
Rather not comment on that.
Did the incident occur inside the house? The killing occur inside the house, or where in the house? If you could say.
Rather not say that either.
What, I'm sure you had detectives attend the funeral. Did he make a statement there, sort of continuing the story that he made up?
We did have detectives attend the funeral, and in actuality, he's been under surveillance for the past 3 weeks. He did not make any statements at the funeral.
Did you guys suspect him all along? You said 3 weeks.
We suspected him after some of the neighbors had some discussions with our detectives and interviews that didn't collaborate what he told us initially. And then when he came out of the hospital and gave such contradictory statements from the day of the incident, then we focused our attention on him.
What did the neighbors see?
Well, I'd rather not go into that either.
Were friends and family skeptical of the story?
I would say yes. Yeah.
Family as well?
I would say yes.
Was there any, so there was no known, like, problems between your mom and him for the rest of the family?
Rather not go into that right now.
Was this about money?
Don't know.
Using a machete is a I mean, you described that crime scene as one of the most brutal that you've seen. Not that murder in any way is good, but it almost made this situation worse, and people were actually looking for that Hispanic male.
That is correct. There were a lot of Hispanic males that were probably stopped in the days, the minutes, the hours, the days following this incident, which had no reason to be. And that's because he was adamant that it was a dark-skinned Hispanic male that caused this murder.
Were there prior visits to the home
By
deputies? Did deputies visit the home for any other
No.
times beforehand?
No, not that I'm aware of. And that's it. We're going to wrap it up because we have actually something else, but thanks. We have his booking photo, which I showed you up here on the backboard. And the arrest warrant was no bond, but he has first appearance tomorrow.
Can we get the arrest affidavit?
Can we get the arrest affidavit?
The arrest affidavit is sealed until discovery.